Welcome to our mydakis University series on using our e-commerce products and services. I'm Matt from mydakis, and today we're going to learn about exporting your hardware products as a CSV file in your mydakis Unified Commerce solution. One of the most powerful tools in mydakis is the ability to export your data as CSV files. CSV stands for comma-separated values, and it's essentially a way to pull your info out of the system and into a spreadsheet, giving you a custom report tailored to what you need. In mydakis, you can export data from 4 places: your hardware products, your orders, your customer profiles, and your payments. In this video, we're focusing on hardware products like your cameras, accessories, and other equipment you might be selling. Before we dive in, to export CSV files, we need to be logged into our mydakis account as either a buyer, admin, or owner. Only these roles have access to the task history page where your compiled CSV files are downloaded. All right, let's get started looking at how to export your products to CSV. Here we are on the home page of our mydakis account. In the left-hand menu, we can see an icon of a camera labeled Catalog. Let's click that now. This opens up the Catalog drop-down menu. Let's click Hardware from that list and then click Products in the Hardware sub-menu. This brings us to the Hardware Products page. You'll notice a search bar at the top of this page. Right underneath the search field, we find the Filters selection panel with the label Show All Products Where written across the top. Without applying filters, exporting the CSV now would export your entire catalog of products. That's totally fine if that's what you want. But if you only need specific product info, we need to narrow things down. For example, we can use the brand filter to pull only products from a specific manufacturer, or use the state filter to show only your active published products. We can also combine several filters to narrow the results even further. Let's try that now. First, we'll click on the Filter Selection button to open the drop-down menu. Next, we'll select the option State from the drop-down list. A new filter drop-down will appear next to the first one. Let's click on this new field to select a value and click on the option Published. Pro tip: if you want to keep your export clean and leave out old or discontinued products, always set the state filter to Published before exporting. Once we're all set adding the filters we want, we can hit the Export Data to CSV button found right underneath the filter tags. The Export Data to CSV pop-up modal will appear. Within this modal, we can configure a few options before we export our file. First, we'll choose our file format. Most of the time, we'll want to select CSV, so let's choose that now. Second, there's an option labeled Scheduled Date. This is great if you want the export to capture your data at a specific moment in time, like the end of a business day. When you schedule it, the file gets delivered directly to you by email. Third, there's an optional email recipient field. If you'd like the completed file sent straight to someone like your manager or accountant, just enter their email address here. Now, one of the cool things about the CSV export is that you get to pick which fields to include. Let's take a closer look at some of those options. Starting with product identity fields, you can include the brand name and the product name, which includes variation details like color or model number. You can also include the MPN code, which is the manufacturer part number from the central product database, or the manufacturer product code or MPC, which is your own retailer-specific override for that code. You can also include the SKU code and or the UPC code, which is the product's barcode number. For pricing, you can export the regular price and the sales price by checking those options, along with mail and instant rebates fields. You can also include the map pricing and the hide price field, which sets whether the price is hidden entirely on the website. For online visibility and display, you can check Make Available Online, which sets if each product is visible on your website. You can also set Available In-Store Only, meaning the product appears on the site but can only be purchased in person. You can check to include the short display value, which is the product's quick description, and if your website is bilingual, you'll see separate English and French fields for that automatically. For inventory management, the quantity available field shows how many units are currently in stock. In a multi-store setup, that data is broken down by store location, which is incredibly useful. Track stock quantities tells you whether inventory tracking is turned on for each product. The field when quantity reaches 0 controls what happens when stock runs out. You can set it to have the product either disappear from the site, show as out of stock, or remain purchasable. That field uses a number code in the CSV with a legend included so it's easy to interpret. The out-of-stock messages give you up to 2 message fields that display on your website when a product hits 0 quantity. You can also include enable serial numbers, which prompts the system to ask for a serial number at the time of sale for that item, and pre-order, which tells you whether the product is available for pre-ordering. For web and digital data, the product URL field gives you the direct web address for each product page, and the image URL checkbox gives you the web addresses for all images associated with the product. The tags field shows any tags associated to the product, and promotions shows any item level promotions. The disable corpo sync field is a really important one to be aware of. If it's set to yes, it blocks that product from being overwritten by automatic pricing feeds coming in from the manufacturer or your buying group. This is perfect for protecting any custom pricing you set up yourself. And finally, the taxable field tells you whether tax is applied to that item at checkout. One quick note before we move on. You may see a field called Sale Priority in the export dialog. That's a legacy feature that's in the process of being removed from the system, so we'd recommend skipping that one. Once we've selected our fields, let's click the Export button to kick off the file export process. After clicking Export, you'll automatically be taken to the task history page. You'll see a status indicator confirming that your export has started. Processing time will vary depending on how many products you're exporting, so just give it a moment to do its thing. Once it's complete, a success notice will appear. Simply click the download arrow next to your completed task, and your CSV file saves right to your computer. Note, you can import a modified CSV file right back into your mydakis account. This means that you can make bulk changes across your entire catalog without having to edit products one by one. To do this, we'll head back to the Hardware Products page and click the Import Data from CSV button. Then you can upload your modified file. For example, export your catalog with the promotions and tag field selected, open that file in a spreadsheet, make your changes, and then re-import it to apply everything in one shot. You can update prices, toggle availability, add or remove promotions and tags all in bulk. It's a massive time saver for any store managing a large product catalog. Now you know how to export product CSVs and import them into your mydakis account. Be sure to check out our other videos for more information about how to best use your Dakis solutions. You can find that and more at help.dakis.com. Visit today.